My name is Grant Browning, and I'm the founder of one of Toronto's largest Caribbean media groups. With over 20 years of branding and marketing, you can guarantee that I've met some pretty amazing people. My biggest pet peeve is hearing people refer to successful entrepreneurs as overnight successes. But the truth is, there are no overnight successes, just entrepreneurs. Real entrepreneurs with big dreams and a desire to make a difference. They're willing to overcome all the odds just for a chance to taste success. That's exactly what this show is about. Business, success, strategies, the dreams, the struggles, and the victories. We're here to pack a hard punch and knock our dreams into reality by bringing you real stories and experiences right here on The Gloves Are Off. Hey guys, and welcome to another edition of The Gloves Are Off. And I have a habit of always pushing out your energy. I'm pushing out the energy to the camera. Welcome! So guys, I hope you guys are having an awesome holiday season. It is the third to last day to the end of the year. Before I go anywhere, I just want to thank everybody, first off, all of our customers for the support over the last year and over since we first opened. And I also want to ask that if you're tuned in right now, to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you find things of value, please be sure to share it with a friend. We are broadcasting live right now. You can find The Gloves Are Off on YouTube, Facebook, and Periscope. And then after the fact, we also have podcast version, which is also available on Stitcher, SoundCloud, and iTunes. So guys, this is how we get our stuff out there. If you find value, I ask that you kindly leave us a rating on the podcast as well. Today, we have a really awesome show. Typically what happens is the beginning of the year, it's commercial. Everybody tells you need to set goals. What we're here to talk about today is the number one thing, and that is to start your year out strong and what you need to do to start your year out strong. Because typically what happens is people set goals. Did you know that this is the... Oh, sorry. This is Trish.
Thank you for the intro.
Everybody always looks forward to these shows. Typically once a month. It's just been a hectic couple months because I still got to run a business. But typically once a month I get Trish on and we talk about couples in business. So for you guys that are tuning in for the first time, because I know we're international on Periscope, big shouts out to everybody out there. Trish is my wife. She's also my business partner. We see each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Why is your face looking like that about it?
Because you got to be entertaining. No, but seriously, it's actually it's an honor and a pleasure because before we got married, we were in business. After we got married, we were in business. The typical person sees their spouse for about 10 hours a day. We see each other 24 hours a day. So we've been married almost 12 years. So you double that. So we're married almost equivalent of 24 years. And damn, that's a long time. No.
So guys, it is a long time.
So guys, I want to welcome Trish. If you guys have this is the first time, she is the sales manager for Carib 101 Media Corp. I am the founder and CEO of Carib 101 Media Group, and the company runs as well TCN, Toronto Caribbean newspaper, Carib 101 Radio. We also do a huge event that is a business event we'll be talking about a little bit later. So we are here talking about starting your year strong. And did you know that for a gym, it's the most profitable time of the year?
Yes, I knew that because I was one of those two that signed up in January.
We both were once upon a time. I would go in just like everybody else, and you set your New Year's goals and your resolutions, and you would go in and you would go with the best of intentions to go in there and actually sign up, and you're going to go there twice a week. But we all know what happens is we all fall off the bandwagon. And Jordan's talking on the phone. Really? Anyways, before we go any further, though, this business is on business and success. You do not have to be in business to be an entrepreneur. 4 out of 5 millionaires in the world actually work for somebody. So it's really important that you guys stay tuned in if you guys are locked in. It's for entrepreneurs. It's for business owners. But what we want to talk about is those things, because once the newness wears off on New Year's Day, and then you put that goals into effect, a couple days down the road, all of a sudden Monday comes around and you got that Monday morning blues, and you don't want to get up because you have to go to work again.
if that happens, the biggest thing is you're not connected to something that is greater in your day. You're not connected to those big goals. What's the matter?
No, nothing.
Are you laughing at us?
No.
We gotta get Jordan on the other side because we look like we're crazy just talking to people right now.
No. You might look like you're crazy because I'm not doing anything just
She's
yet.
just making those faces at me like, what are you talking about? So before I go any further, because Trish says I always talk too much when we both get on, do you have anything to say?
Yes, I do. I've got tons to say, but I have to make sure that it's going to flow with what you have to say. So, going back...
Look at your notes.
Oh. Your notes, my notes, it's all the same notes. It's the same copy.
We share everything, so...
Just going back to what you say in setting goals. Now I'm starting to lose my train of thought here. I agree with you. It is very important for us to do so. We still have some time. If you don't set your goals, you don't write them down, which is something that we're going to touch on, then they seem to get forgotten. They seem to get left by the wayside. It's easy to forget certain things. We all start out with good intentions, but if there's nothing holding us accountable to them, I find it's just easy to let it fall by the wayside. I've done so many, many times, but some of these practices that we're going to talk about, it's what's actually getting me to, I guess, just get better at it now, because I'm seeing that doing things a certain way gets you a certain kind of results. And if you want more of that results, you got to do more of that certain thing. So I agree with you. Setting goals is a must. It's very important.
Well, one of the big things, if you, I've listened to a lot, actually studied a lot of Tony Robbins over the years, and one of the things he talks about is pain versus pleasure. And a lot of the things that we do on a daily basis is based on pleasure, because we're not willing to put forth the effort because it's too painful.
Yes,
so
because really, who wants to do anything that's difficult?
But that's the thing. So sometimes, and I got it actually written down later on, but basically I gotta find it. Where'd it go?
Pain versus pleasure, right here.
No, here it is. If you don't write your goals down every day, you'll be focused on the work rather than the target, and that is like really important. So like, I mean, I was just talking about the Monday blues, and when you don't want to get up in the morning. I've been there many times. Even the biggest, wealthiest person in the world has those days where they don't want to get up and face the world, but they get up because their goals are bigger than what's going on every day. So goals, I mean,
is it the goal or is it the end result?
It's the dream. It's the dream. I mean, the dream is the end result, right? And there's no such thing as an end result, because when you start attaining those goals, then
you said bigger. Yeah, you said you set other goals and dreams, and you get bigger, and you achieve something, then you set your target for something that's higher. So it never really ends.
That's the story of our life. But it's so crucial. Like, I mean, the biggest part about our talk today is actually focused around goals, because you need to have those goals. Your goals, though, when you are setting goals, one thing that is the most important thing is sometimes we set goals that we think we can attain or achieve. But the problem is that when you set those goals, then for what you want immediately, then you won't do the full work for it. So you usually end up getting approximately 10% less. So it's always important to, if you want to make $100,000 a year, you want to set your goals so your actions go in relation to trying to make $1 million a year. So it's really important. We've talked about this many times.
So can I add something onto that? Because oftentimes when I find that we are setting goals, we always set goals based on the now and how we feel and what we think we can achieve and what we think we can accomplish. But oftentimes you need to set those goals. They have to be bigger. They have to be, unreachable. That way you work extra hard.
Well, not unreachable. But
no,
the thing
they
is,
seem unreachable at the time, so that you can work hard to get to it.
Let's talk about that. We got a couple minutes before we go to break, but let's talk about that. The idea of setting goals. Because what happens is sometimes we focus on the now. We focus on our current situation, and we don't see past it. But what you got to do is you want to think with a clear head when you set your goals. Sit down with your spouse, which is really important. Sit down and play the lottery game. If you won $1 million, what would your life look like? What would you do every day? What are some of the things that you would...
Away on vacation like in 2 days, and then come back and have everything ready to go.
Trish could go on vacation for 5 days and come back and work for 2 days and then go back on vacation.
No. I will go away, and then I will sit down, make all of my plans, and then come back and execute, and then go away again.
That sounds fair. That sounds fair. But that's the thing is look at it and say, what would your day look like if time and money were of no issue? And then play that lottery game, and then you can start getting your ideas and your dreams. And don't be afraid to say things that are so long term, because what's going to happen is it starts igniting a certain part of your brain. It's just like if you were to buy a blue van, for example. What happens is your brain is now aware of the blue vans, the stuff that something that you may never have paid attention to before, and all of a sudden when you're driving, you pay attention to every blue van. Suddenly it's like they appear out of nowhere, and you see that make, that model, that color everywhere, and before that you never.
And you wonder why you got that vehicle, because everyone else is now
but
driving that same exact vehicle.
It ignites a certain part of your brain, because we take in so much information by the minute, daily, that your brain has to be able to decipher what's important and what's not important. And what we're going to do is we're going to pause for a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how to keep your brain on that focus on that thing, so that way you are aware and you can start achieving your goals. And we're back with The Gloves Are Off. If you're just tuning in, I have a very special guest who is my wife, my business partner of long time, and we are talking about... These shows are always comical when we get her on. So we are talking about starting your year out right and setting yourself up for success for 2018. So I want to address something that has really been a pet peeve of mine, and I see it more and more, and... There's a great podcast by Andy Frisella that talks about why you're not going to get your 2018 goals. And in there, he actually talks about typically the Instagram effect of what people do, where they constantly put memes out there. And the memes are like, 2016 was practice, 2016 was warm up, 2017 is practice, and 2018 I'm going to kill it. But if you look at the year before, they're like, 2015 was practice, 2017 is where I'm going to be, and it just, every year they constantly do the same thing. And guys, I want to clarify something. When things get tough, when shit hits the fan, memes are not going to save your ass. So make sure that you put the same work behind what you're trying to put out there, otherwise just save yourself trouble. Check it out. It's on Andy Frisella. Big shout out to him. Okay, so setting goals. So we talked about, before the break, we were talking about how you can program the mind, and it's really important because the mind actually takes in so much information that it has to decipher what's important. So one of the biggest things of taking goals, so hold on a second. Why do people usually don't succeed at their goals? Do you know? We need that Jeopardy music. Number one thing.
I think it's just because they don't do the activity that it takes to get them
Agreed.
closer to
Now,
it.
the reason why they don't do the activity is because their dreams are too small. Their goals are too small. They don't have something that's big enough, so it's not worth doing the effort for. The second thing is they don't write them down. So if they don't write them down, and if they don't write them down frequently enough, then it's just not important. They're not aware of it because shit happens. Let's face it, after the second, third week of the new year, life comes back and life hits you again, and it's busy. You got the kids, you got to get them ready for school. You go to work and your boss is freaking at you. You got to get deadlines or whatever it is.
Well,
you start forgetting about what you want to achieve and what you want to accomplish.
Well, not only that, writing things down it connects with you subconsciously as well. So when you write things down, it's like you're committing it back to yourself and committing it back to your subconscious. I don't know how that works. I just know that I find when I write things down, it gets done.
It was a chore to get her to start writing things down, but once we got her going, she's good.
No, but it's true, because when you write it down, it's like it takes effect, and writing things down in a notepad for me is very different than me making notes on my phone.
Absolutely.
Typing things on my phone, it's not the same thing. Writing it down on my notepad is very different connection.
And the thing is that your goals should be exciting. Don't say I want to eat chicken tonight or something like that. Like, you got to have goals that are big enough that it excites you. Something that keeps you up at night. And when you get up in the morning, you literally bounce out of bed because you can't wait to get started on your goals and working towards it. It's really important. Now,
here we are sitting and talking about writing it down, and I'm having all these ideas of what I'm going to go do in a cool notepad now.
Write it down.
My goals.
So here's the thing, though. When setting goals, when you set your goal, you got to do the math. A good book to check out is The Millionaire Booklet by Grant Cardone. He talks about doing the millionaire math, and that is, if you want to make an extra $100,000 a year, it's not just the point of saying, I want to make $100,000 a year. You have to break it down. What is it per week? It's $1,900 per week. How much is it per day? It's $274 a day. And then you start breaking it down even more. How much do I have to make in an hour? So that way you could figure out exactly how achievable it is and how attainable it is. That old saying, how do you eat an elephant? One bite at a time. Right? You can't just, unless you got a super big mouth, you can't fit that elephant in there. But if you take one bite, you can definitely do it. Yeah. Go ahead. I feel like I got so much notes here, and Trish is just so polite.
No, I'm just laughing because I'm used to this. I come on the show, you do all of the talking, you have all your notes prepared. My input is just very minimal, so I'm used to it now.
So here's the thing. So we know that you definitely need to start breaking down your goals. You could set goals. So even if it's a car. So say, for example, we'll amp it down a little bit, and we'll say you want to get a new car. Well, how much is it per month that you need to have for that payment extra? So say you got that dream car you want to work towards. Perfect example is right now I'm working towards a Dodge Challenger. We can go out today and get it, but the thing is I'm making sure that I set a goal that we have to work for first. So what did I do? I made sure that we went and I checked out the payments. I looked at the make, model, all the options that I want. Now I started breaking it down. Okay, so how much is it per month? How much is it by the week? How much is it by, the day that I have to make sure that we make to accommodate this? It's really important when you're setting your goals. So let's look at some of the things to start setting your goals and your new year out right. Number one thing you might want to start looking at is, first off, Trish always cringes when I say this because she's always afraid I'm going to say something, right? Association is key. You're basically, if you summed up your 5 closest personal friends that you spend all your time with, you associate with, you talk to, you pick up the phone with, you add their incomes up and you divide it by 5, guaranteed you're going to get an equivalent of your income. So here's the thing. You remember when you were a kid, your mother always said, watch who you hang out with, and she was always freaking out, birds of a feather flock together, all these different things. You may want to take some inventory on who you're hanging out with on a daily basis. Some of those people might be family, friends, and don't cut them off. Let's be clear. But you can limit yourself. Some of the people you do need to cut off.
No, well, anybody who's busy and, they've got a lot going on. They honestly don't have a lot of time to spend with with a lot of people. We know that. We hardly have time. So you don't cut your family off. You don't cut the people that are closest to you off.
No,
but you do monitor what you discuss with them. Like, you don't take advice from
because if it's somebody
somebody
who's going to come in and tell you that you can't, you're stupid for what you're trying to get, or they're just constantly negative type of people. You want to don't want to spend time. Some people you do have to cut off. You can pick your friends, but you can't pick your family. So if it's friends, sometimes you do have to cut them off, right? And it's nothing personal. It's just you're growing, they're not. But if it's family, you can choose to limit the time you spend. And then when you do spend time, yes, you choose the conversations you talk about.
Well, I mean, when you choose your friends and you pay attention to the type of friends you have, normally your friends that you hang out with, normally the friends that you have, you spend time with, you hang out with them. And what are those activities that you're doing with them? Are they productive activities? Are they activities that's going to get you in trouble the next day? So instead of you coming back to work, if you spend a couple of hours with them, are they healthy activities? Or are you going to binge drink and have a hangover the next day and you're not going to be productive, right? So those are the things that you want to monitor when we say pick your friends. Because if they're not a positive influence in your life, then they could be detrimental to the end results.
For sure. I'm just looking at the time and it just flew by already, and almost break time. So before we go to break, so what we want to do is, number one thing is to make sure you write your goals down, right? Keep them in front of you. Do the millionaire math. Start, working backwards from the end result of what you want to accomplish. Number two thing is you want to start, taking inventory of your friends. Start looking at who you're associating with. Don't forget, too, I have friends that are very close to us, and if I don't talk to them for a month, a couple weeks, whatever, we pick right back up where we left off, and there's no hard feelings because the friends that we have the same goals and have the same desires that they are trying to accomplish, so they're busy as well. So it's really important that you associate yourself with those type of people, because if there's someone who's
we've had friends where they want to talk to every single day, all day long for like hours, and it's like, but
and
why?
What's their conversation? Their conversation is about what so and so did in the community, who screwed who, all these different things. Or their highlight of their day is playing Xbox or video games because they have no ambition to do anything else. Those are the friends and family members that you might want to limit yourself from for a little bit while you're working towards your goals.
Well, we've all had those people in our lives, so we know we know what we're saying, and we've realized that when you start shedding some of these unhealthy relationships out of your life, then you're starting to see productivity. You're starting to see a difference.
For sure.
Because we don't have people in our life like that anymore. If you're not positively contributing to the overall goal of what we're after, you're not there.
I weeded them out. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Think you have what it takes to bring value to the community? The TCN TV network is expanding and now accepting TV show proposals. Here's an opportunity to build celebrity status and become part of an elite group of community advocates that are focused on building, strengthening, and empowering our community in a positive way. Are you interested in embarking on a new adventure? TCN TV is searching for people interested in opportunities to change the conversation and pave an unforgettable legacy. If you feel you have something of value to offer, send a written show proposal to shows@mytcntv.com.
Are you retiring smart? Make your home's equity work for you. With your home's equity and our 30 years of experience, the Retire Smart Properties team can help you achieve the quality of life you've always wanted. Our services are 360 degrees. We'll give you advice, take care of staging and selling, and help you find the perfect home and community to transition to. It's time to enjoy the retirement lifestyle you deserve. Visit our website today to learn how you can use your home to retire comfortably. The Retire Smart Properties team, powered by RE/MAX West.
Hey guys, we're back with the gloves are off, and of course, we are talking about 2018. We're 3 days away from it, and I'm hearing already a lot of people talking about it. It's all over the news, on the radio. Everybody's talking about setting your goals. What do you think about setting goals?
Oh, I said it at the beginning. I think that they're very important because if you don't set goals, you have no idea of where you're going and how you're going to get there.
Now, do you set goals just the beginning of the year, or do you set them throughout?
Well, I set goals all the time, at least once a week or even or sometimes like even during the week as well. So I've got monthly goals that I set to achieve. I've got goals that are 3 years out that I want to achieve, and then I've got goals that every single day that I have to tweak and adjust, because if I did not accomplish what I set out to do today, I have to make sure that I roll that into tomorrow and work extra hard.
And keeping goals in front of you is important. So, I mean, the thing is writing them down is one thing. I meant to bring my planner in. So I usually have a planner. You should write your goals down as an actual stat. You should write them down at least twice a day to keep it in front of you, keep you memorizing what's going on. Because what happens when the shit hits the fan, you're going through crap all day. If you go back and you review what you want, what your goals are, where you're heading towards, that stuff doesn't seem so big anymore.
So share with our viewers one goal that you set out at the beginning of 2017, and by October of 2017, you achieved that goal.
The bigger house.
Yeah.
Writing, and Trish kind of touched on it earlier, writing down things. There's just something that happens that you don't realize. It's subconscious. You're putting it out to the universe. Every day I would write, we needed a bigger house. And for many reasons, we decided that it was time to get a house. And sure enough, in October, we got the house. So and I mean, countless times this has happened where we write down stuff, and it's just
and then
amazing.
You'll come back with your notepad and be like, remember, I was writing this down. And the funny thing was, like, even through when we started looking, when we're like, okay, it's time for us to start looking, like we didn't even realize this was a goal that was set at the beginning of the year.
Mm-hmm. And then it was only when we were actually settled in the house where we had time to finally sit down and start taking back in normal life. All of a sudden, I'm like, oh my God, I wrote this stuff down, and I wrote it down every day. And even leading up to moving, I was writing this stuff down, didn't even pay attention to it because it was just something that, you put in front of you all the time. But yeah, it works. So keeping it in front of you is crucial. So dream boards, because some people are visual that way. So put a dream board up. Trish does it weekly, like she was mentioning. She has a whiteboard in her office where it's her targets. Picture this. Imagine having a target. So imagine you have a bow and arrow. And instead of focusing on your target, you're focusing on pulling the arrow back. And you're just looking at the arrow and the bow pulling back. How accurate am I going to be?
Not very.
No, I'm going to hit Jordan in the face. But that's the thing, right? You have to focus and be honed in on that target. You don't look at the process. You don't look at the work it takes. That's just the process of getting there.
And one of the things with goal setting too is, like, don't have it in your head. Don't break it down. Don't dissect it on how you're going to achieve it. Just put it out there, because I remember with me, if I 5 years ago, if I had to set a goal, and sometimes it was big goals, I'd be like, how are we going to do that? We can't do that now. Because I am believing the results based on my current situation. I'm not planning, and I'm not projecting for the future. My decision regarding that goal is based on my performance today. So I could have never seen past, the hurdles that we would have to get over to get to that goal. But thank God I have cleared myself from that, and I understand that it's not how things work. Like, don't worry about the small nitty gritty. When we said we wanted to move, like, I didn't worry about how we were going to do it. I just said, okay, this is what we got to do. We're going to figure it out. And through the year, we we figured it out, right?
And here's the thing too, and I've touched on this in the last show. It's not in my notes, so Trish is looking at me kind of funny. Take ownership of your life. Understand that if things don't happen to you, they happen because of you. You have just as much control with the good things that happen in your life and the bad things that happen in your life. So when you put your goals on paper, when you start working towards it every day, it's an amazing thing when you start taking responsibility for your life. Things start to happen. Too many of us, we're trained to think the government's going to take care of us, think our boss is going to take care of us. Look at your boss. Who is he going to reward? The person that just sits and does the minimum, or the person that sits and takes ownership and moves forward and does the extras, picks up the paper when they see it on the floor, doing whatever the extras are? Who's going to get the promotion first? Agreed?
Yeah. Oftentimes I hear about people talking about getting overlooked at work for a promotion, or somebody got it and they don't think they deserve to get it, and you should really ask yourself, well, why? What are they doing that I'm not doing?
Exactly. So doing the extras is important. Here, let's put a disclaimer out. It's important to have faith that things are going to work out when you start putting your actions towards those goals. Because understand, here's a perfect example. At the beginning of the year, I made sure, because I turned 40 this year, I said this was my year. This year had to count. And I looked at Trish. I was 240 pounds. Going up the stairs, coming to the office, I would be out of breath after the first set of stairs. Trish used to get mad at me because I would do videos when I'd finished loading up the truck, and I was out of breath. I couldn't even talk because I was that out of shape. If I focused on the work every day and looked and realized that there was no results, you're not going to see results for the first 2 months. You just have to stay focused on where you want to be. And it's the same thing with everything you put forth. If your goals are big enough, you're not going to see initial results. You're just going to have to constantly push towards it. Keep those goals in front of you. Again, that target. Don't look at the bow. Look at where you want to shoot at.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so here's the thing. Write your goals every day is important. Twice a day would be ideal because you constantly stay in front. Dream build is so important. You want to see it. You want to feel it. You want to touch it. You want to hug it.
And
right?
What's important too is rewarding yourself when you get to certain to certain level, right? Because sometimes we're always working. We don't really take time out for ourselves. We don't get to feel good what it's like to accomplish certain small. We're not saying that every single week you're going to go out and reward yourself for something, but when you get to a certain place, reward yourself so you know what it feels like, so you get the motivation you need to get to the next level.
And that's the thing. Being consistent with daily routines is a big thing. Scheduling daily tasks, that was what I was talking about, the day timer. Scheduling what you need to get done. Set your day up where you can actually position yourself to win with 5 critical tasks you have to do every day, whether it's you're going to read 5 pages a day or you're going to, take out the garbage every day, something like that. But make sure that you schedule 5 critical tasks every day, so that way you start getting yourself, your body, the motion of winning happening all the time. It's important. Following up and following through with your goals, following up and following through with everything you've written that day. Make sure your 5 critical tasks, you can't go to bed until you've done it. Whether that one task is you have to work out. Exercise is a big thing. You want to set yourself up to win for 2018. Work in your daily routine to exercise daily. I can't tell you what that did for me. You learn to handle stress better. Your body feels better. You start changing your diet because your body craves certain things that are totally different from what you used to eat. It's amazing. Want to add to that?
No, I'm good.
What's your daily routine look like?
Oh my goodness! Now we're putting me on the spot. We just talked about exercise, and I don't do any of that right now.
Okay, we'll eliminate the exercise part. Let's talk about some of the daily routines that you do to achieve your goals weekly when it comes to setting your targets.
When it comes to work, what I do is I make sure that everything that needs to get done is written in a notepad, or it's up on my whiteboard, and I will make sure that I revisit those notes every single day so I know what are the things I have to do today? If I didn't get it done yesterday, I need to fit it into my day today. I find that once it's in front of me and I'm connecting with it all the time, I get things accomplished. If it's not in my notepad, it's not getting done, because my days are very chaotic. The phone call, I'll be in the middle of something and the phone rings, and that will just take my concentration off of it. So I think for me is knowing what my day is like and figuring out what works for me. So putting everything down into a notepad that needs to get done, putting it up on my whiteboard that needs to get done, and checking it off when, once I've accomplished it. That's what works for me. So it's finding out what works for you. How can you structure your day to make sure that you're getting all of the healthy things done?
And writing this stuff down is really important, because your day, especially you, it's so hectic. You have times to constrictions because you have to go get the kids. So you got to get a certain amount of work done.
Well, a phone call.
Compressed.
Yeah, a phone call just throws my day off, because I can't control what that incoming call is going to be like. It might be 2 minutes, or sometimes it could be 5 minutes or 10 minutes, or I might have to go back and deal with it. So because I don't know what the incoming calls are going to be like, I have to make sure that I've got things handled on my end, so when I get thrown a curveball, I can still deal.
Agreed. We're going to take a quick break. I just realized that we are short on time, and we'll be right back.
This holiday season, be sure to pick up your copy of the Toronto Caribbean newspaper and check out all the specials from local businesses right here in our community. Help build a bigger, better, and stronger community with your support. Happy holidays from the Toronto Caribbean newspaper. Available at your favorite Caribbean location or online at torontocaribbean.com.
And welcome back. I'm working out on my
She had
announcer
a little bit
voice.
too much eggnog before
No,
we
I had
started.
a little bit too much water. I swear it's only
Is
water.
that water? Or is it
Yes, it
vodka?
is. No.
Yeah.
If you know me, you know it's only
No,
water.
people don't know you.
Well, if you get to know me, you will know it's only water. I'm that girl that goes to the party and just asks for like water.
So finish it out. So welcome back. What?
Oh, welcome back here on the Gloves Are Off show with Grant Browning and Trish Browning.
She did all right. We might have to keep her. So if you're just tuning in, you're
At least
listening to
once
the
a month.
Gloves Are Off. We are talking about the most important thing you're hearing everybody talk about, but they probably aren't dealing with it on the way that we're dealing with the subject, and that is setting your goals, making sure that you start your year out strong, and how you can consistently go through the rest of the year with those goals. So before we went to break, we were talking about the importance of writing them down daily, twice a day. We talked about before that. We talked about doing the millionaire math, setting your goals and reverse engineering them to the point where you break it down to daily tasks and schedule and routines. We talked about also setting yourself up to win, doing 5 critical tasks every day, and also making sure that you exercise is
But
big.
I was gonna say, now, do you recommend that you start, like, if you have never done this stuff before, do you recommend five critical tasks?
But the
or
critical
do you,
tasks are this: get up in the morning and do your exercise. Check.
but that's you, like that works for you, but
that's
it
what
might
I'm
not
saying.
work
What
for
are your
somebody
5
else who's
critical
doing
tasks?
this.
So you would do: get up in the morning, I do my exercise, I come into work, I check my emails and answer the most important ones. I have to make 5 important phone calls to prospects or somebody. You get what I'm saying? So it's small critical tasks. But hold on. It's small critical tasks to set you up, get you into that feeling of winning and accomplishing stuff daily. That's the most important thing, because when you get into that routine, when you win, you feel good, right? So what you want to do is you want to get those small wins.
No. What I'm trying to say is that, if this is all new to you and you've never done this before, implementing 5 new things like right away will probably is not going to work out for you.
Why not?
Okay, this is an overachiever we're talking about. Like, do you start on the treadmill and like start running I don't know how much miles for 30 minutes, or do you start with like 5 minutes? You start with a smaller amount. So maybe it's just adding one thing in and being consistent with that, and then adding another thing in and adding another thing in. So instead of doing 5 new things that you've never done before and you have to now start doing them every single day, it might be easier just to start with 1 or 2.
We're going to leave that, because 5 critical things could be washing the dishes. So we'll move forward.
No, but that's not critical. That's not going to get you your goal, unless your goal is to keep your house clean.
Okay. So write your goals every day. Here's the reason why. The potential of your goals are so much more exciting than the reality of now. So it's really important. I touched on it, but Trish got excited. Dream build. It's so important. If you are looking to improve certain things, again, we talked about that lottery game. So what does it look like if you win that $1 million and time and money were of no constriction to you? What would you do? Maybe you would want to go out and get a Viper or something like that. Go feel it, touch it, go check it out. Don't be afraid of the salesman. They come in and I don't care. You gotta feel, smell it, touch it. If it's the house you want to get, maybe you're living in an apartment. Don't be afraid to go out and see something that you can't afford, because you are looking for ways to build to that point. If you just look at your current situation, you might as well not set your goals.
No, but once you feel it, you see it, you touch it, it just gets something else going inside of you. It does.
When you see it, feel it, touch it, smell it. Go in, and if it's a car, smell the feeling of the new car, the new leather.
You know what I'm gonna do? My goal is to go on 2 vacations for 2018, and 1 at a beach. So I'm gonna put
go to an indoor volleyball place.
I'm gonna write my goals down, and I'm gonna put some sand on my note. No, I'm gonna put some glue. I'm gonna put some sand on there. So every time I pick up that notepad, I can feel that sand.
Another important element to accomplishing your goals is you have to understand, in order to have something you've never had, you have to be willing to do something you've never done. You got to understand that you are where you are because of who you are and how you think. You have to reinvent yourself. You have to be willing to be coachable, to grow, to get into personal development. Did you know that the average millionaire actually reads 60 books a year?
Yes, I knew that because I heard that.
Because she listens to stuff.
Because I listen to stuff.
So guys, personal development is like beyond important. You have to get into an element or get into a routine of doing things. And here's the thing. Typical thing I think of is the time constriction with people, and they say, I don't have
But hang
time.
on, let's back up and let's share with people why it's so important.
Okay.
Because every morning we train, and if it's for 10 minutes only or 15 minutes, and some morning we're doing an hour depending on what we're looking at. And there are some days where when I sit there and I get into the office, and for some reason I'm not charged. I'm not fully charged and ready to go, because who knows, I wake up and I'm tired and I just don't feel like even coming into work that day. But I get here and we throw on something, and oftentimes I always get some little bit of information out of what we're listening to that gives me a different perspective. It makes me feel differently. I might connect differently with myself on that day, and it kind of gives you that jump start that you need. So, sometimes I find that it's very useful to me. Because you come in, you're in a funk, and then you're just listening to somebody else. You're watching somebody else.
Because you never know.
Excitement.
You got to start your day out right and set yourself up to win. Because, on the way to work, somebody might have cut you off.
Yep.
You might have got in an argument with your spouse. Your kids might have ticked you off. Your mother might have pissed you off.
Oh my God.
It could be anything that can happen. You're going to give yourself away. Did you? But anyways,
No,
you
but
got to
there's
be able
a lot
to.
that goes on even before your work day gets started.
You have to be able to change that mind frame, that mindset of what you're doing, and personal development. Now, if you say something like, I don't have time, you got to learn to be able to use your time wisely and duplicate your time. What happens when I'm in the shower?
Do we want to tell them everything?
Well, I didn't say tell me what happens in the shower. Guys,
No,
what I'm saying
Grant
is,
has a Bluetooth speaker in the bathroom, and he's listening to some motivational piece while he's taking a shower.
So there you go. So you're duplicating time. When I'm on the treadmill, I am watching something that can propel myself towards where I want to go. That is the most important thing, is what are you doing on a daily basis to get you closer to those goals? So, I mean, duplicating your time is just one of many things. Your car. Use your car. You're driving to work. Instead of listening to negative news, listening to 680 telling you what's wrong in the world, listening to CNN, watching CNN, take that time. And guys, you're not going to gain anything out watching House of Cards.
Maybe entertainment for an hour.
Did you know it's an actual stat that this is a statistic that you burn more calories sitting on the couch doing nothing, staring at the wall, than you would if you sat there and watched the television, because the television puts your brain in neutral and you're absorbing information. So you're not actually burning calories, but if you sit there on the couch and do nothing, you're actually burning calories because you're trying to think of what you want to do.
I was just going to go say that. You're like, I'm so bored. Well, what am I going to do later? What did I do next week? What should I do tomorrow? What should I wear?
So here's the thing. We're running out of time. So all the stuff we talked about, number one thing you want to do is get an accountability partner. Share your goals, whether it's your spouse, you even want to talk to your kids, a mentor. You get someone that's going to hold you accountable to what you are trying to accomplish, because we are all creatures of habit and bad habits.
And sometimes if you know that somebody, if you have somebody that you're accountable to, you don't want to let them down. I know for me, an accountability partner really works for me, because on those days when you just don't feel like doing it, if you got somebody be like, Trish, did you do it? And you're like, oh no, I didn't. I might as well just get on it now, because you don't want to disappoint them either.
An accountability partner will call you out in your shit.
If they're good,
if they're honest. Now remember, a true friend, because accountability partner is a friend too, a true friend will tell you what you need to hear versus what you want to hear. And I've always told that to all my friends. Also, we are running out of time. Set deadlines for your goals. Goals need to have dates on them. You need to actually have, I need to accomplish this by. Guys, if you don't set it, like if you don't get it exactly on that date, you will be 50, 60, 70% closer than if you didn't put a date on it.
Yeah, but putting a date on it sets the intention. And
Yes.
you know, like, I'm going to work towards that, right? So if you're off for a little bit, it's okay. You're still going to get there. But
now, here's an interesting tip that I heard today from Ed Milet. I was listening to his podcast. He was actually talking about setting deadlines for your goals. And I loved what he said. Set reminders in your phone. Every month, have a reminder that shows up on your phone that says you are 30% closer to your goal. 30% of the time has passed. So that way you are constantly aware of what's happening, and it might be a way to recheck and say, oh shit, I need to do this, this, and this. Are you laughing back there because I said, oh shit?
No. I'm actually agreeing with what you're saying.
So set daily reminders. It's a way to be accountable. Be accountable to your phone, right? Like, it's just going to come up.
be accountable to your phone. No, just get a good friend.
No, but what I'm saying is that you want reminders, weekly reminders even, to let you know, hey, this is where you're going. This is what you want to do. Be accountable.
Google Calendars are great.
Does it set reminders on your phone?
Yes, it does.
Okay.
How do you think I'm so organized?
I don't use Google Calendar. I get in shit all the time here. So, guys, we have come to the end of the show. I hope that we have given you something of value. These are some of the tips and tricks that we actually use in our lives and our business. Please make sure that you subscribe, like, share, comment. Stay tuned. We got about another 3 shows coming on live. Trish, thank you so much, as usual. It's always fun having Trish on. I get to pick on her. Her friends love our shows because they see a different side of Trish. And do you have anything closing out?
No, just make 2018 great. Again, don't just post a meme, but just do something towards your goal.
Don't just post a meme. I love it. I'm rubbing off on Trish. Guys, I hope you have an incredible new year. Please be responsible. Don't overdrink too. Remember, focus on your goals.
No, just tell them, just be successful. Like, don't pay attention to the negative stuff, drinking and driving. No, we don't promote that. Just be successful.
So guys, have an incredible New Year's. We will see you next week, next year, 2018. Let's make it great and keep it locked because we got more guests coming. Take care.